What was the password again?
Beams, all caps.
Okay. Wasn't the S lowercase before?
It was.
Wasn't last session like a shopping session?
Yes, it was.
So turn in the quest and then another bathhouse scene.
Oh
Nope.
yeah.
Another bathhouse scene where where we had the bard, the bard of the party, who was cringing. It's like, ha, foul demon spawn. The power of Christ compels you.
The bard wasn't even there. The
Yeah.
bard isn't even there.
Nah,
One
it was
bard just-
the attempt of Ryoka trying to woo the tieflings.
For one, it's tiefling. Secondly,
You're not
Well.
denying it.
I hope this works. Heck yeah. Managed to fix it on the first try. Nice.
Ta-da!
Oh gosh, I never knew that I actually joined a group of a party of thoughts.
I'm sorry.
All charisma based.
Jesus Christ,
I
dude.
swear everyone is a bunch of
Only thought we
Listen,
I think the
listen.
only
I
thought
can't
we-
wait for
why-
you to
I don't
find
know
out what I'm
why
planning.
I don't know why the the bards aren't horn dogs, but apparently Ryoka is, and she's the
'Cause they're-
monk. Which
Right,
doesn't
I
make
mean-
sense.
because they're not
Nah.
bound to stereotypes.
No, no,
Yeah,
no. Here's
we're
the
we're
thing, here's
literally the
thing.
fucking
If you think of it really
anti-stereotype
hard-
party.
If you think of it really hard, monks are actually just bards as well. Except for as a musical instrument, they just used fists as an instrument of harm.
Yes.
You just use your fists to play xylophone on the enemy's ribcage.
You can say it's a very harmonic class.
Goes
Alright, I'll
into
just-
combat,
alright,
starts
now-
playing the spooky, scary
Anyways.
skeletons on the
And now
enemy's
I'm
ribcage.
playing
Bring it
harm.
in. Bring it in.
Boyos
Okay.
and ladies, let's try to rein it in.
But I
Alright.
don't wanna.
You don't want to? Alright, fine, we don't have to have a session today.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Alright. We have bard number 1 with bagpipes.
Here.
Bard number 2 with the French horn will be joining us in a few moments. We have Wave the Drunken Fist.
Eh.
We have the Glow Stick Minion.
Wait, is that me?
There we go. And we also have our definitely not a furry this time.
Oh, but
I haven't
my
been part of
character's a
this for
high
about
elf.
2
How is he
weeks.
related to a fairy? Great.
It's Fientus, after all.
And then we have our illustrious Hungry Dragonborn.
Yes, I'm here.
Yay! Alright. So, as our intrepid adventuring party last left off after having a somewhat relaxing time for once, finding their time dwelled upon the instances of shopping and, we say, more pleasures of the flesh on the side
Yes.
of Ryoka and the bathhouse.
And we don't talk about it.
I'm
I'll
about
just
to-
write fan fiction about it later. Don't worry about it.
Great. We're starting off strong. I haven't even begun to drink my mead yet. I'm not ready for this.
I'm
Yeah.
not drunk enough for this shit.
Not yet, no. Though I do have to say, like, half a glass of mead isn't gonna fix that. But it's gonna help.
I'll just eat
Yeah, you need
pickles
about
until
6
you
bottles.
accept it.
If I wanted to get drunk,
Anyways.
But anyways,
Nonetheless,
Can you
as we
ferment
pick ourselves
pickles
up,
into a pickle alcohol?
how about we
Technically,
carry
you
on
can
with the
just-
summary first?
Okay,
but after turning in a previous quest to the Lord Brokenridge, a rather well-off lord who had seemed to be taking an interest into their, shall we say, skill in both combat and use. After sending them out on a couple of menial tasks to test their worth, finding out just why the city had not been helped by their illustrious counterparts, a hamlet of clerics and paladins to the south, the sanctuary of Clayrose, finding themselves to have been destroyed and burnt out by some sort of attack previously just before the city had been as well. As we currently pick up, the party is coming back together and congealing with their consciousness after a well-deserved time of respite and rest. Once again off and given another task by the Lord Brokenridge to find themselves out and finding a abandoned temple. Seemed to have been perhaps an instance of what might have happened to his ailing health. But we will go ahead and pick up there with our party, just as this is coming together. We have Volus and Ryoka stumbling out of their massage. Ryoka a little bit more happy with hers, but nonetheless, feeling like a Gumby in every sense of the term. The rest of the party, after waiting the 2.5 hours to finish this exquisite exchange of, shall we say, comfort, we pick back up. What would you guys like to do?
Well, I guess the first thing that would be most sense is, well, aside from gathering the party, would be to do what we were told and set off on that job that Lord Brokenridge sent us to do.
Can I get a friendly reminder of what that was?
Need one moment. Currently, the
Oh, jeez.
We're kidnapped.
Oh, I thought Discord just had a fucking breakdown.
down and checking out the some sort of abandoned temple, one that had been, or at
I
least
gotta undo this
thought
fix.
been in ill use or even unattended. The essence of this quest that you have been sent on is to essentially find out if something is connected to what's going on with him at the moment.
Were we able to get that map tablet out?
Yes, you did get the map, but I will get the tablet out for you. Second, you'll get it. But nonetheless, you guys do know that the essence of your quest is to the southeast, mostly to your east. But you do know that the road there has no road, and to travel there will roughly take you about maybe 2 weeks. That is what you understand for what you have. So what would you guys like to do as you plan this out? Or would you like to skip all the preliminaries and just head out?
I would like to
Just
still.
skip all the preliminaries and head out.
Yeah, I think we have everything we need.
Mm-hmm.
So we shall set off on an adventure.
We're fairly fit for travel.
Fairly fit. Okay.
Before that, can I get like the
So,
stuff
question.
with Rowan solved just to meet up with the party before they leave?
Yes.
Um, have I made any progress in the time that I was like not here on my magic bag?
You did not exactly have the time to do so as this was going on. I mean, you had time to do it, but other things currently took precedence. There was a lot of talking to be done last session.
Okay.
There we go. Ta-da! It's finally working.
Yeah, there we go.
Working?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's the other way around. Let me resave the camera then.
Uh, there we are.
Okay. Oh, geez. Don't zoom in there. What are you doing? Okay.
I don't know. What are you doing?
I don't know. Ask Tabletop Sim. Also, I need to
Alright.
restart
My
the stream.
immersion.
Here we go.
Your immersion? Damn.
My
your immersion.
immersion.
My immersion. Let's not try and please.
Ow.
'cause
I
Thank
didn't
you.
And
realize-
that's why I keep him on low volume.
I didn't
I-
realize that it came out.
I
that
had him at
loud.
low volume. It didn't help.
How is it that I'm like really far away from my microphone and somehow I came out louder than a trumpet?
Because frequencies, my dude.
When you hit even though you're at low volume, if you hit something at a high frequency, it's still going to come out loud.
Yep, it's gonna be coming out ear piercing. Oh fuck! Hopefully, my tinnitus doesn't flare up now.
Oh no. Well, rest in peace to
Right.
those who have died. Now, as the preliminaries are mostly stepped out of the way, gathering the rest of your equipment and gathering together what debts you have to the city and finding out they are few and far between. Traveling through the somewhat destroyed and starting to be repaired parts of the city, you do notice that you have to pass by the blacksmith that you previously did before. The dwarf gives you all kind of a steely glance, just making sure you don't come closer. And goes back to hammering out what looks to be a new longsword before you head out. As you reach your way towards the gate, see the usual guards are there. They do stop you as traffic is coming through. As your turn eventually comes up from the passing merchants and other squabbling peasants trying to make their way through the gates and sell their goods and perhaps even rejuvenate their farms that were lost. All right, business to done to exit the city.
Yes.
We're here to leave on a quest by request of Lord Brockenridge.
All right, mercenary work. Double, write that down. So, usual toll fees, gold piece per person.
I have no idea how
Why?
much gold I have, so can someone else pay?
I can pay for you.
Ryoka looks at them and she's like, "Why do we need to pay to leave the city?"
Well, frankly, have you seen the city? And kind of points around. This isn't for the guard, lass. This is mainly for the city itself. Well, Brokenridge has taken all the tolls and he's putting it back to all the construction work. Most of the stuff's coming from up north. That's why it's all so fucking expensive. Have you seen the lands around here? There's nothing but farmland. We have no wood. So we got to get it in from Shorefield. And then we also got to get it in from the Lanners.
I got a question. So are these little dots here around the map just farmland?
The little dots there are actually sparse, like, woodwork there. It's like most of the area around Port Ivy is farmland for roughly about up until 7 to 8 days out. You're reaching just pure farmland and then rolling plains. The other stuff isn't even really forest. It's just, there are a couple of trees that have sprouted up along where they can through the grass fields. I mean, it's thick enough to where it could be construed as a minor forest, but it's not essentially it's something that's going to stop somebody from traveling through it.
Okay.
All right, just to make sure, it was 1 gold per person, right?
Aye. Yes.
All right, Nerem's
I
just going to
still
hand
want
over the
to
7
know-
gold.
I would still like to know what's going on with Rowan.
By now, he would have met
Rowan.
up with the party, but like, what did he do before?
Rowan, you've
Yeah.
been with the party though.
No,
How-
I
what have
left
you been
the
doing?
party to go meet the merchant.
That's right, you did.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I have it in my notes here. You went off into a better place to talk with some of these sovereign merchants.
Next thing you know, I got mugged.
Flashback.
Flashback previously.
I would like to speak to whichever merchant I was speaking to earlier.
He's still leading you kind of through the
Alright.
city, but you're brought to a rather interesting establishment. It's somewhat of a rundown tavern, but you see it has more of a almost Middle Eastern look compared to the other buildings around. You see the archway is not covered by a door, but mainly by 2 fine tapestries of what look to be some sort of a heavy cloth.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely does it look like a place where I'm gonna get mugged at?
Maybe a 3 or a 2. I mean, it looks like a nice establishment, but it's not exactly top of the line.
Yeah, fair enough.
The only person that's gonna mug you here is me.
Not if I
And
mug you
that's a
first.
threat. I have friends here. Oh, that's not a friend, that's a threat.
I really feel like we need a paladin in this party.
With party members like this, who needs enemies?
We need a paladin in this party to cleanse all the heresy.
Yep.
I don't know this here.
Ryoka.
What? Nah.
I am here. Excuse me.
Call bullshit.
Don't worry, Ryoka's not that threatening.
What the fuck you mean Ryoka's not that threatening?
Well, not to us, at least.
Anyways, moving on. Moving right along.
Rowan would just follow the dude into the establishment.
As you follow in, and you're immediately met with the heavy smoke of a tobacco and then into a almost incense. And you step into it, you look about, and you see the inside of the establishment is a stark contrast to that of the outside. The walls themselves look to have been made with a kind of a fine layer of adobe, even though the outside was wood. You see it creates a very fine inner sense of almost some sort of a sand-like dwelling in the desert. And it's much brighter here on the inside. You see there are multiple candles and chandeliers that hang from above. There are no usual tables that you're used to that are strung high. You see most of them are set low, almost into the ground somewhat, as these couches and pillows have been set out around. You see there are dozens of similar looking individuals, much like the merchant who had led you in, somewhat of a darker skin tone, much like the Moors, almost Spanish Moors. Think a somewhat dark, but having the kind of caramel to their skin. You get what I mean?
I mean, it's almost like I am from Spain with a caramel-looking skin, so I do know.
Exactly. Yeah. So you would get what I mean.
Yeah.
But they essentially look like Moors. And as you walk in, some of them look at you and give an odd kind of glance towards you and then see you walking in with the merchant and shrug it off and go back to what they were doing. As you are led in, you are led to one of the tables off to the side and you're sat down on one of the cushions and the merchant sits across from you. So, my friend, what might I be of assistance to you?
I'm looking to sell some gemstones I've picked along on my travels.
Ah, gemstones are very precious from where we come from. They are especially more of a religious task to us. Oh,
That's
how much of these are you having to sell?
I have 5, but I am unaware of the quality they are. So I am
You see-
hoping that you will give me a fair price.
And you see the face kind of contort slightly into one of confusion and a bit more of a, like, I'm not sure I can trust exactly what you're saying, but okay.
I would like to take out I have 4 rubies and 1 fake glass ruby and just put them onto the table.
See, and he looks at them, kind of pokes out the glass one. That is more for decoration than anything else. He moves it off to the side.
Alright,
These
what
others,
will-
however,
What will the rest of them fetch me?
he looks at them. One moment. And he puts his hand up, and you see him notion another merchant over. You see a rather pot-bellied individual kind of hobbles over, a long, kind of almost toga-like garb that he wears. You see there's a fine bluish-green kind of shawl that he wears that covers his shoulders and down the front side. And as he walks over, yes, what can I do for you? Ah, there he is in. Perhaps some deals to be done, and I have some request of your keen eye, my friend.
Well, just give him a light nod.
He looks at the pot-bellied merchant, the one that just walked over, kind of looks at you and untrusting. Very well. He walks forward, and he doesn't touch the gems on the table. He just looks at them. Leans over and starts speaking to the man across from you in a different language, one you don't know. Octaron, Triel, Serbid, Elactun, Predit. See the other ones. Emil. You have my thanks, my friend. See the other merchant just kind of bows. Heads off. These will run you, or at least if you're willing to sell them, give you 1,200 gold for the lot of them.
Could I do an insight check on him to see if he's
Sure.
trying
Make an
to
insight check.
bullshit me? Alright. Give me a second to look at my dice. That is a 14.
14. That's a very difficult person to read. Seems to know his job and how he's made his life, but he seems to be telling the truth.
Rowan just looks at the gemstones with very concentrated for a second, looking up at the merchant quickly, looking down at the gemstones. Alright, I'll do it.
Ah, it's always good business. Allow me to come back to you. We must count this coin. And he stands up and kind of straightens out his garb. He walks out. He walks away for a few moments. You see as he enters into a back room, a curtain of beads kind of comes around. After about 10 or so minutes, a small satchel is brought out to you, and it lands heavily on the table.
Could I pick up this? Just pick up the satchel for a second, comparing it with my own satchel to see how much weight there is, more or less. I currently have 500 gold pieces, so I'm kind of looking for double the weight. Would that be possible?
I'd say go ahead and make me a wisdom check. This would be more of your natural intelligence rather than your book learned
Let's do
intelligence.
wisdom. Alright.
Wisdom, as I said.
That is a 18 minus 1, 17.
17. All right. So, weighing this out, The satchel definitely is heavy. I mean, there's a lot of coin in there. And as you open it up and kind of look inside, and then weigh it once more, seems the merchant has been truthful with you.
Alright, I'll just pocket the satchel then and just. You have my thanks. If I ever have anything else to sell, I'll make sure to come back to you.
He nods. Certainly, we will always have more business to attend to with a certain compatriot like you. Come back to this establishment any time you have more deals.
I will do so. Thank you very much. Uh, I would like to stand up, head outside, and take a look at the name of the establishment before leaving.
You look up, and it is the Jaded Jasmine.
Alright. With my newfound riches, I would like to go look for a different blacksmith that is not the one I was just at.
Go ahead and make me. What's your passive perception again?
My passive perception
Yeah.
is 12.
12. On your way out, you hear kind of the familiar voice of the merchant. But he's not saying anything. You hear him say something like a small offhanded joke. You hear a couple of the other merchants in the bar kind of laugh. But that's kind of what you hear on your way out. And it's in the same language you don't really understand. And as you head out, like, you got a good deal from what you can tell. I'm not sure what he's talking about, but you feel good.
Alright. Alright, well, I'd like to go look for the blacksmith then.
Go ahead and make me an investigation check. As we're getting your shopping episode out of the way.
I'll try to be as quick as I can. That is
I understand, I'm just giving you shit.
15.
Alright. So, as you are looking through, as you are currently heading through the city, you find a couple of other blacksmiths. Most of them are mainly human run, but they look to be busy. Most of them seem to either have some sort of staple to them that say they work for the guard under decree of Lord Brokenridge for the time being. However, there are a couple that you managed to find that are still taking requests from citizenry.
Would the quality of the weapons made for the guards be better than the ones that are just still serving their own customers? I don't know if that makes sense, but
Go ahead and make me an intelligence check, or at least some sort of a make me an intelligence check.
intelligence. I am not a smart person.
I might be stupid.
14.
Isn't there a but there? No, there isn't. All right. So with your looking at some of the equipment that has been or being made and somewhat hung about, either being tanned or even somewhat resting after being forged and molded, you see there isn't really a quality difference. I mean, there might be. You're not the best at picking these things out, but as you head over to the side and get to one of the blacksmiths who are available to you, just look over it. I mean, it looks the same to you.
Alright, I just head over to that one then.
All right. So you head over. Two rough-looking humans. One of them is a bit slimmer than the other, almost a kind of beanstalk. The other one looks to be the usual kind of circus strong man that you would kind of find at these kind of forges. And the kind of beanstalk looks at you. Can I help you?
Yeah, looking for some weapons. Sword, a dagger, something. My last sword broke, so, a man needs something to defend himself.
We have plenty of swords, if you're looking for 'em. What exactly are you looking for?
Something to keep people at bay.
Uh, uh, we have a couple of long swords here that we can probably sell to you.
Anything shorter than that? Short sword, maybe?
I think we have one or two. Yeah.
Alright, well, may I have a look?
Shrugs. Yeah, certainly. No harm in it. Goes over and heads inside, kind of opens the door and lets you inside. You see the walls are somewhat lined in this small shop. It's roughly about a 20-foot by 15-foot shop. It's pretty small. But as you look about to it, the walls are aligned with multitudes of swords, small pieces of armor that are just kind of stapled here and there. You see most of it is replacement. They don't seem to have made any like full suits. But you do see that along most of it, there are some weapons you could find. There are a couple of short swords they have for sale, yeah.
Right. Would there be anything that catches my eye, or do they all just look relatively the same?
Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Alright. That is 15.
Most of them look the same here. Nothing really special about them.
Alright, I just pick up the third one to the left. How much for this?
Said it. Let me check the ledger. Goes over and opens a large leather-bound tome, and behind one of the counters. The guard have been kind of taking most of the things we've been making, even though they have the other parts of the city to do it. But we should be able to offer you something decent for it. Looks down through it. We can sell it to you for about 11 gold pieces.
11, you say?
He nods.
Sure. Alright. I'd like to take the satchel that I was just given
Mhm.
and take the 11 out of there.
Mhm. You take the 11 coin, you hand it to him. You take the short sword, you put it in the scabbard, and you start heading off. Your coin jingling along with you. He waves you off. Enjoy your purchase, I guess.
Thank you very much. Alright. Where the hell is the rest at? Just look around, trying to find mostly Narum, since he's big enough to be spotted, and run up to
Okay.
them.
More than easy enough. So as you head yourself out and find the rest of the intrepid adventurers of your gang, you run into them just as they're about to head out of the city. You manage to get them just before they reach the gate. And as you all meet together, and the extra gold coin, you guys are allowed out of the city as traffic continues moving through. As you step out of the large stone walls of Port Ivy, you find yourselves once again in the stark contrast of the urban environment of the city into the wide open grasslands and farmlands that immediately just kind of protrude out from Port Ivy. Where are you guys heading? Because you do know that there are roughly about 3 roads that lead out of Port Ivy. There's one that leads north to Alnwick. Actually, no, that's not the way that road goes. I need to check my own notes. You have one that leads out from Clayrose, and this one kind of leads out into a small townsend that mainly resides in that area, but you guys really haven't been out there.
If I recall that place that's the Broken Ridge said was around here.
Actually, here.
Oh.
Yeah. Where you're heading is roughly about there.
Okay.
Not exactly near any of the roads.
Hmm.
But you do have a map to it. No, still a good map, not one been changed, hopefully.
Just to do this quickly, I'm going to ask this out of character. Do you suppose like going eastward and then south through the like mountainous region get us there faster, or should we just travel to Holbag, take the long way round, and be able to stock up in the city?
Well, from what you know, the road that goes directly east is mainly just kind of a trotted dirt path. It's not exactly a road, something that townsfolk have used. The road north to Alnwick and the road south Beck is mostly kind of a graded gravel. So it actually has a little bit more stick to it. But the closer you get to the main cities, the more of stonework road you get.
Okay, and just to make sure, the area over here-ish, like this path here, is this a full like
Oh,
are
you're
these,
asking about this kind of hill?
yeah,
Yeah.
the hills? How
The
steep is
hills
that?
there are mainly not very. I mean, most of the area in the Kumyar is flat land. It's essentially it's one of the large farming empires, one of the old farming empires, before it
Okay.
kind of broke apart and became the Holy Roman Empire.
All right.
Because as I have told you before, from what you and the rest of the party would know, the cities and the towns and even down to some of the villages are run by hundreds, if not thousands, of different lords. Some of them minor, or sorry, most of them minor. Some of them, like Lord Brokenridge, one of the more powerful lords of the Kumyar. But it's all pretty much broken apart into minor states.
Oh, okay. I was just not sure if that was a mountain range that we had to cross.
Oh no, it's not a mountain
not.
range. This is a mountain range.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
This is a mountain range.
I'm just blind and can't read maps apparently. But yeah,
Like
I suppose if it's just some hills, we should be able to pass through relatively easily.
Yes. It's like the only thing that kind of gets close to a mountain range is this. But that's because it's even closer to that mountain range to the north.
Okay.
That is more so flatlandish with hills here and there.
Yeah, it's essentially think of it as for the Americans here, think of it as essentially Ohio. It is grassland.
What's Ohio?
And
Kidding.
Exactly. It is just essentially a flat land with corn. Nonetheless. So what are you guys doing? What are you planning on doing?
I say we should just head straight towards the camp, or not the camp, the tower.
So we
Okay.
just head east and then south from there.
Yeah.
So, as you guys start taking the eastern road further into the kind of tall grass that extends out, even through the farmland that has somewhat taken over most of the area. As you start heading your way through it, who will be helming the expedition on lookout, or you guys just kind of travel along the road?
I guess I can look out.
Oh,
Go ahead and make me a perception check. Does anybody else want to join him?
sure. I'll join.
Go ahead and do so.
I got a 15.
15. All right.
Got a 24.
Okay, good to know. All right. So, Zoram, you notice this more than Volus does. You pick out that through some of the kind of tall grass here, something wasn't entirely using the road, and it was a lot of something, and it was heavy. You see, it looks like heavy carts were pulled through the tall grass, and it hasn't even had time to set yet. See that it looks like whatever was pulled or even moved through it was either pushed or dragged.
Is there any
What you just
patterns
noticed.
to it?
Uh,
A specific kind of pattern to like the pulling or pushing?
no real pattern. It just seems that whatever was pulling it looks to have been something very large and very heavy. Because the grass has been very set into its place. Most of the tall grass out here is pretty kind of stiff and well grown. But whatever it was that kind of rolled it over must have been exceptionally heavy.
I point this out to Niram.
Niram, you would actually somewhat know what this is, being with your pretty much with your background. Whatever made these kind of tracks through, just looking at the dirt and looking at the grass that's been knocked over, you see most of it looks to have been pulled by some sort of large kind of carrying cart. Like something that would be drawn by at least 2 or 3 ox, not even a horse. Something that's heavy that needs to be pulled.
Interesting. They've been transporting some heavy stuff here. If you need oxen for something like this, it can't necessarily be easy. Especially around here. Wonder what they're planning.
Well, granted our luck, it's probably nothing good.
Let's just hope we don't run into something like, I don't know, a bandit circle.
But what if I want to run into a bandit circle?
I mean, that's your problem.
What if we take over the bandit circle? Make them bandit for us?
See?
I'm going to personally persecute you at the nearest court if that happens.
Well, who knows what
I mean, or
persecute
you could
means?
just walk away.
I was a guard after all.
You were a guard?
Yeah,
You
for a
also
bit.
kind of ended up in a pirate gang, or at least what's supposed to be a pirate gang.
Well, we haven't
and
really
she-
committed any crimes, so...
stink
I
eye
mean,
towards
okay,
fucking
Naren,
pirates.
I would like to remind you of the fact that you were in a jail cell with me, so I don't know what
Yes,
you're
and that
thinking
was
about.
for self-defense.
No,
I don't know
no,
about
no.
you,
That's
those
what I
cultists would
was
have probably killed us.
saying. You slaughtered them. I was only
I mean,
speaking
you
to get
kind
out
of
of there.
did.
You know, we could have probably just killed 1 or 2 and then intimidated the rest into leaving, but no, you fucking just sliced your way through them.
I have a very hard time believing that is the case, considering that cultists are usually brain dead.
Hey, who knows? Maybe some of them have enough of a brain to run away
They
from the
used
prison.
necromancy, dude.
This
So-
is
I think
also
they were
very
long
true.
gone.
Anyways, There's something in the grass there. Might want to keep an eye on that. You never know what's going on.
Would any of you like to investigate it further, or do you guys just want to keep an eye on it?
So is there like something moving in the grass?
Something previously moved through it. Doesn't look like
Oh.
anything's moving in it except yourselves. As
Does
you're
it
moving
look
along the
like it's
road.
been recent? Like how recent?
Roughly about the same time as the city was attacked, so roughly about 3.5 weeks ago.
Okay, so it's
And the
not
tracks are
new.
still set in. It's not new, but it's definitely still been there.
So this is about 3 weeks. These tracks have been here.
Just at a cursory glance, do the tracks like follow the route we're taking?
Not exactly. As you start getting further and further east along this kind of dirt road, you see it starts traveling further north. It starts curving off almost into a crescent.
Huh. Well, seems like not really our problem. They're not going in the same direction we are. So I
Just leave
think
it for
that,
now.
yeah. If anything changes, at least we'll kind of know where they'll be coming from.
Agreed.
I suppose we'll continue on. Or does anyone else want to do anything?
I think we're continuing on.
As it gets later in the day, roughly towards about the early evening, so about 7 o'clock, you see, or what would exactly be, most of you would be able to see this just with your passive perception, but the first person to notice this would be Zorm. You see a large circle of ravens just kind of squawking and flying about overhead, and you see most of them are just, some of them come down and land, and something then disturbs them and they fly off again. And then a few moments later, they come back down and land.
Did something die there?
Um,
Or
does this seem unnatural?
Make me an Arcana check.
could I answer that in character?
How would you like to answer that in character?
Like, I don't know. Dark birds flying in a circle? Yeah, kinda natural.
I'm more referring to magic, not like, natural phenomena like food.
Fair enough.
Arcana. It's 23.
23. All right. Doesn't seem to be anything unnatural about it. Seems to just be a flock of ravens that seem to be fluttering over something that possibly died or seems to have found itself in the grass. Not exactly unnatural.
Which direction are they from? Like, Are they like circling around in an area that we came from, or?
No, it's not coming from where you came from. It's coming from ahead of you, roughly about maybe a mile or two to your north.
Could be just food. But not really sure. Could just be that they found a source of food and they're just kind of scavenging it. So don't know if you guys want to investigate. It's like a mile or two out that way.
I mean, do we have anything to lose? Except our lives?
Time.
I don't know. Our lives are a pretty big factor if we want to go
Are
about.
are we on a time limit?
Not that
Don't
you're
think-
aware of.
We're not on a time limit, but we do lose time when we're not doing what we're doing.
I mean, think of it this way. Either we go there, we lose like maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes, and if nothing interesting is there, or we just keep going. But if there is something interesting, well, we gain the fact that there's something interesting and something fun to do there. Not just wandering and wandering and wandering.
Guys, like, does everyone want to investigate this? Like,
Yes.
okay.
So it's going to take you guys a little bit longer to go and investigate it, just due to the nature of like going off road through this tall grass. Granted, you're going through farmland, but there's still some tall grass through here, and it gets thick as you get off the road.
Thick.
Damn, boy. It's thick. Some thick ass grass.
And this is why I don't say things like that. Welcome to the party, everybody from Twitch. Welcome to the party.
Miss it.
As you guys start heading through the grass, give me a marching order here.
I'll be second to whatever.
I'll be
whoever's
first.
I would like to. Do you mind if I go right behind Ryoka?
By all means. So it's Ryoka, Rowan, Volus.
I guess I'll go next.
Okay. So, and Nira.
No,
up
one's
the
gonna
back
take
again?
it back. Yeah.
All right. So, Ryoka, as you start pushing your way through the grass and kind of making way and pathway for everybody else, go ahead and make me a survival check. This will be an advantage too, just because the ravens are over, or the crows are overhead.
Why did my thing close? I had my sheet up, but for some reason it closed.
Making
Survival at
excuses.
Survival at advantage.
Yep.
First one is this. 21.
Okay. So, as you start forging your path for the rest of the party through this area of the grass, you push through it and you start smelling dried blood. A lot of it. Very iron taste in the back of your mouth. And you start moving forward, and as you start pushing through the grass, you open up into another pathway that it seems the heavy carts went through. And in this one particular spot looks to have been about 2 bodies, both of them human, both male. You see they have been pecked heavily by the crows and or ravens that seem to have found the body first, and the flesh has been kind of torn apart as well. You see the bodies have been here for a while. They're starting to decompose rather heavily, and the stench immediately hits you as you keep looking at them.
Well, I mean, at least something has to cause this. Unless the birds are very, very aggressive. Ron would just start looking up at the birds, squinting in suspicion.
I don't think the birds killed them.
Never trust the birds.
Okay.
Could I inspect the bodies to try to see what the cause of death was?
Make
Any
me a medicine check. This will be difficult just because of how badly these things have decomposed.
I have no modifier. That is a 12.
Even through all of the missing bits of flesh and the kind of pecked apart carcasses that these corpses are, it looks like there are some rather grievous stab wounds on these bodies. Looks to be either some sort of spear or some sort of a sword.
Is there any path in the grass from these bodies?
Yes,
Like
as
of
I
them
said.
being dragged. Okay.
They weren't dragged. Looks like they were just dropped, and nobody seemed to go back and pick them up.
So do they still have anything on them? Any armor or clothes that might be
No.
No?
No.
So just naked
They
bodies out there?
are, yeah, they are nude and sunburnt bodies.
Someone's doing what I'm doing. God damn it.
Are you surprised by that?
They're, they're stealing my entire thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Should we do something about this, or should we just leave?
I think we should just keep moving before we end up like them.
I was about to
there's only
ask,
two of
anyone here
them.
actually qualified to do a burial?
I mean, anyone's qualified to bury a body. Just, I mean, if
I
you're
thought about,
religious
like,
about it.
protection against desecration and such.
Oh well, you know.
Do any of us look like a cleric to you?
No, but that's why I'm asking.
I can try.
You can try, right? Which god are you gonna talk to be like?
You know, if
Iris kind of scoffs at that as you say, I could try. She's just going to...
you know, if you bury them deep enough, then maybe they won't come out. But
I
you
mean,
know,
we could burn the bodies.
Should we
is it
behead
really
them first?
necessary though? Like the birds are already doing the job for us, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I
we'll
guess.
leave the birds a snack.
meanwhile we're just causing like the Black Death to spread.
Shall we burn these bodies? Nah, it'll be fine. What can they do? Cause an epidemic? That's not our problem.
Yay! I get to be a dragonborn plague doctor.
Oh my god.
As the day continues and you get back onto the road that you were once on, you do see a small road sign just about as you guys stop at about 9 o'clock. And it's saying that there is a small town ahead. The town's name is Broadern. Brodern. Broadern.
It's not on the map, is it?
Nope, not on the map.
Or
It's
can you
not
spell it
large
again?
in it. Brodern. Broadern.
D-E-R-N.
Something tells me this is a cannibal town.
I mean, if they were a cannibal town, wouldn't they have eaten the bodies outside of the town?
I mean, I'd think to believe something more darker, but I don't think they would leave their bodies out to rot.
Well, what if they weren't the ones that killed those bodies?
Then who was it?
I don't know.
What makes you think they're a cannibal
That
settlement
is
then?
such a large
No.
jump.
We just like
That conclusion is so large, it makes the Grand Canyon look small.
Yeah, it's already decided. It's already decided. This is a cannibal town.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
they're not on the map. Their name is a little weird.
They're
There's
not on the map
nothing.
because they're not on the map because they're not a large enough town to have been sufficed by any sort of lord. They were probably under Lord Brokenridge.
No, we're just gonna
They're
assume
not
it's a
on the
cannibal
map,
town.
they must be cannibals.
Nero just looks over to Valis and Zoram and is just like,
No, it is
I
very
I
fishy
can't
that they're not
anymore,
on the map.
please. Just make
I
them
can
shut up.
You know-
They're not on the map. It's kind of suspicious, you know.
It's very not kind. It's very suspicious.
Okay, I'd like to just say, game's logic is they're not on the
No, no, no.
map,
I don't see
and they have
any
a
flaws
weird
in this
name,
logic.
therefore they must be cannibals. Following this logic, anybody in this world would be a cannibal in her eyes because every town name is weird.
You must be suspicious of your surroundings.
No, that's definitely cannibals. All right, we have two options: either we camp here and attack them tomorrow, or we go now and attack them now before they eat us.
How about we don't attack them, you dolt?
Why not? They're cannibals.
No, they're not.
How do you know that they're not?
How do you know that they are?
Because they're not on the map.
Yeah, so what?
And with this, Voss
Literally
just
all
goes
other
down there
continents
to
are not on this map as
investigate.
well. What's your issue?
These two are single-handedly gonna cause more war crimes than any other war criminal in human history.
Ryoka, you're with me, right? We have to attack them before they attack us.
They will single-handedly cause the Geneva Convention to happen in this world.
Right.
haven't
Are you
even
telling me
better
that
What
the
if-
Bjorn is
rogue
gonna
and the
invent the
bard,
nuke?
the bard and the monk combined are gonna commit war crime.
You know, we can commit war crimes faster
No.
if we work together.
If
Wait,
can-
are you saying we can commit war crimes multiple times?
Multiple. All right, Naren.
Anyway,
okay,
If they're not cannibals, then what are they?
moving on.
How about just normal
moving
people who have made a small
on,
settlement?
Grape.
They could be vampires.
They could be vampires. They could be vampires. What is a vampire?
Oh my god. Grape. Can Voss just
Mhm.
go down there to go investigate? He's like, as he's listening to all these people, he's just not gonna say anything. Walk down there. I want to see how long it takes for them to notice.
As this
They're
is going on,
Hold on. Aren't vampires technically cannibals? I'm asking this out of character. Aren't they technically
technically yes.
cannibals? What's his Ryoka? What's a vampire?
About to have
Oyster
either
cannibal?
an aneurysm or a stroke. One of the two things. Please kill me now.
They're both vampires and cannibals.
But what's a vampire?
I don't know.
Okay, let's bring it in a little.
Then why would you say they're vampires if you don't know
As
what
this
they
is
are?
going, as this is going on, you see Iris and Clyde off to the side are just looking like, what the fuck you guys are doing. Iris is just like pinching the bridge of her nose, and Clyde is just looking at you like no amount of drugs could even rationalize what you guys were thinking. But
How do you think Zoram feels?
I would like to run after Valis, just keeping a hand on the sword, on my sword, just in case they're cannibals.
Ryoka's following.
Nerem is just gonna look over to Zoram and Valis and then Draconic just ask them, why? How? What?
In all my years of studying, I have never been able to witness something that could cause me to wish that I would be dumber than a rock.
Reiko just giggles. Just like, she understands that she's being absolutely ridiculous, but it's hilarious.
With an intelligence of a 10 and a wisdom of 8, Rowan is just being serious.
With an intelligence of 19. Sorry, with a wisdom of 19 and intelligence of 12, Ryoka's just fucking with you.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. I had to step out for a second because I needed a minute.
Yeah, no, don't worry, nothing has changed. You have the monk who's just playing along with the bard's bullshit.
No. The bard is going along with the monk's bullshit, except he doesn't know it's
Oh
bullshit.
my god, can I
They're-
just put them both to sleep if I can't go down there?
One's an
Try.
elf.
Half elf.
One's an elf. You need chloroform.
I
for
never
that.
said I was using the spell sleep.
Just starts nuking them. You know what?
Anyways.
You deserve it, Fireball.
It's like Iron Man and the Hulk. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Essentially, this piece of... Anyways,
reining it back in. Reining it back in.
Let's just go and check what the fuck this village is all about.
Yeah, I guess we can.
Nerum's gonna follow just to protect Alice in case shit goes wrong.
You get there roughly about hour and a half to 2 hours later, so it's now about 11 o'clock. It's getting dark.
Could Rowan just approach one of the people there and just, very non-suspiciously go up and like, hey, so what's your favorite food?
If I can get my description out,
Oh my god.
I'll let you know.
Sorry.
I swear I'm
After the 2 hours of walking, you get to the kind of palisade that marks the outside of this town. You see no light coming from the outside of the palisade. You see no guard fires, and you see no light or even smoke from the inside of the palisade. It is dark.
We specifically changed this village because of their bullshit.
So, who wants to go first?
Well, let's
I'm
try
not
to go
going in here
first.
first.
I shall have Velis go first. Since
Just as you're about to take a step, Nerum's just gonna, like, real quick grab your shoulder and just whisper to you, I think if you don't go in, you will never enter the town. We can just avoid this altogether.
Is there any noise coming from the town?
None at all.
Rowan would just
Ryoka's gonna be,
suspiciously...
even more suspicious.
Rowan would just suspiciously look towards Nair and go like, maybe you're right. Maybe they're not cannibals, but normal people. And they got attacked by cannibals.
if I hear the word cannibal again, someone's getting fireballs.
Ryoka's just be like, he's on to something.
You see Nerum's face, like, for 1 second, be hopeful. Oh, he's finally making sense. And then the second part hit, and you just see his face going to, like, ultimate grump mode. Just,
Or maybe,
of
or
course.
maybe it was just the same thing that killed the other 2 people? In that case, it's not cannibals.
Maybe it's just bandits.
Maybe it's just bandits.
Yeah, now what? Screw it. I'm going to check out what it is and stop this whole cannibal vampire mixed breed clusterfuck that you guys are
Oh yeah,
talking
that was
about.
definitely a clusterfuck cause of mixed breed.
Ryoka just grins, knowing that she's messing with Rowan and fucking with the rest of the party. She's just like, oh, I know what I'm saying is bullshit, but he's eating all of it up.
Does Nerum see Ryoka just grinning ear to ear?
Yes.
It's pretty easy to see, yeah.
Now, would he deduct what she's doing?
Make an insight check, sure.
Okay. Let's see.
Hey, on the bright side, it looks like
that's a nat 20 plus 3. Nerum actually gets what's going on.
on the bright side, from what I'm seeing from the map, you might be able to finally get your rock.
Nerum just looks over to Ryoka and just mouths to her, "You asshole."
Ryoka speaks aloud. She's like, I prefer bitch.
I know what I said.
All right. So, What are you guys doing as you're starting to approach the city? Or this town, at least.
I was
There is a
trying-
floating building.
Strangling Ryoka.
Questionable, but I understand.
Look, you can do that back in the damn room. But other than that, let
I
us
mean,
just figure
like I
out what
was-
it's in here. Nothing of interest. We go back to finding that bloody tower that Broken Ridge wanted us to see.
Yeah, let's continue
We're
on trying to
wasting
figure out
enough.
what's going on here.
I mean, you know, if the town is empty, we could spend the night here.
Finally, a rational thought.
And then be attacked by a bandit cannibal?
Ryoka, I am going
Yeah,
to throw you off of the closest cliff that we come across.
If we get attacked, it's better to get attacked here, where we can at least, you know, pin them down to just attack us from one side, than
I
just
am going
middle of nowhere.
to start walking away and start walking towards the town, because fuck this conversation.
I'm going to the town as well.
like starts first. She's like having trouble not laughing. She just looks to Rowan as he just believes every fucking word she says.
Rowan is like that lost child that you come across that like has a starry-eyed look and it's like, "Ito, Obama."
I have gotten lost so many times, and I just keep finding you guys through the sheer power of fucking spite.
Spite and uncanny luck.
Rowan just disappears from time to time and reappears.
Anyways, getting back on topic. Yeah. Well, this is just going to go in regardless.
Yeah, Nerum's gonna follow
Nerum's
and just start
following
looking
you.
around for like
The
Rowan's
two
going
dragonborns,
after
they're
them as
done
well.
with the bard and the monks.
everyone's done with them.
Are just following you.
As you step through the opening front of this palisade, you do notice, pretty much designed by the map that you can see, town is destroyed completely.
Hey, maybe it was the same things that attacked, you know, the big town.
Grape, are there any burn traces? Or does it just
Make
look
an
like...
investigation check.
Okay. Hooray for -1 intelligence modifier, I guess.
Could
Yeah,
I
that's a
assist
5.
him?
Sure. Go ahead and insist.
All right, let's
Okay,
roll the advantage die. Let's see.
Okay, I was gonna say I could.
That's
I could
a
roll
13.
separately.
Oh, if you want to roll separately, like go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna roll separately.
Yeah, then the 5 is gonna stand. Nerm doesn't know shit.
What is my investigation? Oh, that's just a +5, but better than what you have.
I think everything's better than a negative modifier.
18? Yeah, 18. I was having trouble doing math because my brain is doing the like stupid from Ryoka and Rowan.
Still processing.
It's contagious.
You guys
Join
remember
us.
what? You guys remember when I said that the group had like, you know, 5 brain cells, and Ventus was 4. Here's
Anyways,
the thing
yeah,
now.
I rolled an 18.
I think we
No,
actually have more, but the problem is we
Yeah,
also have
we
negative
have
brain
more.
cells.
Exactly.
You gain negative health.
Game
That
is
that
loving
the
this
concept.
far too much.
Oh.
Like I can hear, I can see the face on her.
Oh my god. I can
Alright.
hear the
Want me to
grin.
do you want me to turn on my camera?
No,
The smuggest shit-eating grin in the world.
Just a sneer.
Anyway,
anyways, yeah, I'm ready.
Checking through the buildings, most of them look to have been either burned down or broken down. You see that there are plenty of tells that portions of the palisade and portions of the town itself have been burned down completely. Whether it be by some sort of accidental fire or something that had been purposefully set, you're not sure.
You know what? I know what I want to do. Grape.
Hmm.
I want to cast fly on myself and want to skim the outer palisade to see if there's any tracks or anything.
Have we had a long rest yet?
No, you guys have been traveling into the night. It's about 11
How-
o'clock.
How do you have fly again then?
I have spell slots.
Yeah, but when did you get them?
We all took a rest at the
You
at the
guys had a
beginning.
long rest before
Okay.
you left the city, and then you left the city.
Okay.
That's why we ended it last session with a long rest, and everyone was getting their selves that bathhouse scene. So I do have all my spell slots.
Yeah, gotcha.
So what I'm trying to do is cast fly and using my turn to skim about the edges to see if there's any like prints or any signs of forced
Make a
entry.
perception check at disadvantage.
Okay. Advantage.
I guess while this is going on, am I able to look for a place that we can kind of set up camp in? Like anything that's not completely destroyed?
Well,
So checking out around the broken palisade, there are very obvious tracks. The same heavy carts that you had been tracking through the grass previously. And you see in portions of the town there are large smears of dark crimson. You kind of have to get closer to them even with the moonlight. And you can see that things have been dragged through this town, and they seem to have been lifted and put onto something.
Are there any bodies?
None.
It's the fucking cannibals.
God,
There are no
fucking
bodies,
damn
there are
it.
no bones. There is nothing.
So am I
Wait,
able
what?
to...
You guys remember those dog things that we saw in the city?
What, the gnolls?
the gnolls,
Yeah,
you
the
mean?
gnolls. Do those eat people?
Well, if I recall, they were taking away bodies, so it wouldn't be out of speculation that they took all the bodies.
So it could have had been them, right?
Perhaps that's what the heavy thing that we saw being dragged through the grass was. Would make sense if it was
So
heavy and being dragged.
So it's not
Yeah,
cannibals.
a
It's
few weeks ago.
gnolls.
Well,
I
we
guess
don't
we
know
just
that yet, but it's a more plausible theory than freaking cannibals.
Bro, just like put a
Every
fucking.
time Ryoka hears the word cannibals, her grin grows a little bit bigger.
Roa's brain is just like that DVD logo bouncing around, and right now it just hit a corner.
So, anyways, I'm looking for an area that isn't like that could work as somewhat a shelter in here.
Most of them are completely burnt down or even taken down. The only real shelter you're going to have is one you set up yourself.
Oh, right, okay. You don't really have anything to do but amuse yourself, apparently. You might as well help me set up camp. And just, like...
I have all I need to be amused right now.
Yeah, then, like, do something
yourself
productive at
useful.
least.
I'm being perfectly productive right now.
Very funny. Naren's just gonna start looking around for firewood.
She's gonna help.
Make an investigation check. Most of what can be burned has been burned, but there might be something you can scavenge.
Let's see. That's a 12.
You manage to find enough for about a small fire. I mean, you'd be able to keep it going with the amount of wood you're able to find, but it's still lackadaisical at best.
If necessary, he's just gonna, like, use some torches to, like, start it up and everything.
Okay.
gonna use like
You can go ahead and mark a torch off if you want, just to see if you can get that fire started and going.
yeah.
But you will be able to have a fire tonight.
So we
As
start with the
this
fire.
but as this continues through the night, who will go ahead and take the first watch, and who will take second watch?
I'll take first watch.
Okay.
First watch.
Great.
Yes.
While during first watch, can I try to use the my alchemical supplies to try and make potions?
Go ahead and make me a medicine check.
Okay. 19.
You can do so. You won't be able to use a long rest because of just the kind of concentration that this sort of thing takes and the amount of time it would take. But you can do it.
That's fair.
You won't be exhausted. I'll say that. You won't be exhausted. You'll be able to get enough of a trance in that you're not exhausted, but you won't be able to have a full long rest.
All right.
So, as you go through and start creating these potions, I forget, do you roll for it or do I?
Let me
Today's
check.
been a day.
Out inventory, alchemic efficiency was I believe that I rolled them. Hold up. Alchemy. Ivy. Um. When I use alchemy supplies, it is. Oh. You can use your two efficiency.
You can use alchemist supplies to make 1 dose of acid, alchemist's fire, antitoxin, oil, perfume, or soap.
Okay. No, I'll use it to make a alchemist fire.
Okay. So, spending through most of your long rest as you settle yourself down and pull out of your fine instruments, as you start working upon them and putting them together, setting out the beaker, starting little fires, you set out with your small, almost lighter like contraption, as getting a small flint and steel and then lighting it, and the magnesium used to it starts lighting it, the flame continues. And as you slowly cover it and the fire resides, as the sun starts coming up and you feel tired and you find yourself a 3-hour trance, you're able to mostly get a bottle of kind of a swirling orange and red, almost a small test tube of this kind of alchemist's fire.
Mm.
And see as you kind of swirl it around in the glass beaker that you have, it seems to be definitely a volatile concoction.
Also, I'm looking at the more on the whole alchemy thing. Uh, I would have to look for herbs and stuff in like during the trip and stuff if I want to make these higher level
You would,
potions.
yeah, you would,
Okay.
but I understand. I just needed to remember, or I needed you to remind me about if it was you who rolled or if I was rolled.
Yeah, I believe I have roll
All right.
this stuff,
No,
and it takes days depending on what it is. So depending on the potion, it could take anywhere from 1 day to a whole month.
good to know. Now, first watch, Rowan, go ahead and make me a perception check.
That is a 2. Wait, I don't think it matters if I add the modifier, but 4.
4. As far as you were aware, nothing happens during the watch. It is all essentially a calm night. Nothing makes a sound. Everybody is sleeping happily. And even you find yourself kind of dozing off slightly.
Uh,
As your watch ends and kind of jostle yourself awake. Who will be taking second watch?
I guess so. I will.
So you go over and push, kick into Zorm, and Zorm, you kind of grumble up, look about, and see as Rowan walks over and collapses onto his sleeping roll and seems to almost immediately fall into his trance-like sleep.
I'm an expert at sleeping.
Go ahead and make me a perception check, Zorm.
21.
All right. As you are going through your morning shift still, trying to keep yourself awake, you spot something. You look at it, and it seems to be a crow. This crow is different. You look at it, and it seems to be almost purple instead of black, even through the darkness. And it just kind of looks at you and tilts its head. And you watch as its eyes kind of flick over quickly and start watching Fullus.
Do I know if this is a magical creature?
Make an Arcana check. I tell him to make an Arcana check, and he disappears. Okay.
No, I'm still here. So that was someone else.
Game. Oh wait, no, game's still here. Wait a minute. Just popped off.
I think Hope died.
Damn it.
Okay.
Got it.
So
Yep.
that
I
is
understand.
a 26.
It looks like a normal crow. Doesn't seem to be one.
Nah, it's just a person with crow feathers on them.
I'm just trying to think here. So it seems to be a normal crow, but doesn't look like a normal crow.
Yes. It's like it is, but it isn't.
Like it acts like one, but doesn't seem to look like one. I'm assuming.
Yes, essentially.
Huh. I'm just thinking here.
A dangerous thing to do, isn't it? To think.
Yeah, I know. Thinking, hey. Imagine going through a campaign without having to worry about thinking about cannibals.
Don't trust the cannibals.
Can I spend 10 minutes on my watch to cast Detect Magic?
You may.
I will do that then. Just spend 10
As
minutes.
you sit back and work out the runes and you release the spell, You just watch this crow as it sits on this destroyed portion of this house. This thing on the wall seems to be some sort of a conjuration magic. Seems to be some sort of a familiar or something like that, possibly.
The crow seems to be familiar.
Yes.
I'm going to keep an eye on it, and now that I'm kind of aware of what it is, I'll kind of just make a note of it for when next watch kind of comes up.
Okay.
And,
Well, there's no real other
and
watch.
just
It
kind
is
of
just one
also,
and two.
like, I'm also just keeping an eye out just in case anyone else, like, anything else pops up. Just trying to be a little bit more alert now because I know that there's a familiar around.
All right. So, as you just keep an eye on it, you see it eventually flies off. It doesn't come back as the sun starts dawning. See. Apology. Yeah. As morning dawns, you all find yourselves slowly awakening. There's something weird. You're not sure what it is, but you just have this weird feeling. You know
There-
how when there's a thunderstorm coming in and your like hair starts raising on end when you don't know why?
Yeah.
That's essentially what you're feeling at the moment. Like you're
Naram's
getting
first,
closer to something.
like Naram's first thought when he feels that feeling is just, anyone got a spear through their chest? Like looks around, just thinking to himself, anyone turn into a kebab? No? Good.
No, not that you can see.
Zorm's going to address the group. So we might have to be a little bit more aware today.
Why?
During my watch, I saw that there was a crow watching us. So I went on a little bit of a hunch and figured out that we were being watched by a familiar.
Oh, great. Magic mumbo jumbo.
I told you, don't trust the fucking birds.
No, you went on about cannibals and other
Nah,
bullshit.
that was before. That was before. The birds is about the two bodies. I told you it was something off the birds.
This
No,
was a
that-
crow. This was
Eh.
a crow, not a raven.
What's the difference?
I think crows are all black and ravens have like yellow beaks.
What's the difference between a crow and a raven?
Just be a little bit more alert while we're moving out because we were definitely being watched.
Also, I think ravens are bigger.
Yeah.
Out of character, I thought ravens were smaller than crows.
No,
No,
it's,
ravens
it's-
are much bigger.
Yeah, ravens are.
Ravens are much bigger, and they are actually much more of a meat eater.
Yep.
Mm,
Like
They're
crows.
they're more
crows
of a
about a
crows
about
are
like,
scavengers,
yeah.
but ravens are the like, oh hey, there's a dead wolf down there. Nom.
Yeah. Like
Ravens
crows are
are
about pigeon
bigger.
sized.
Yep, and ravens are about
So
the size of a
just
red-tailed
just
hawk.
be aware of what's going on because if we're being watched, someone obviously has taken an interest in us. So might want to make sure that we're not caught with our pants down.
I need one moment.
Yep.
That moment when Zoram has a big brain and decides to actually cast a spell.
Apologies, somebody needed my help for a moment. Now, you all gather your things and start moving out. The travel along, since there is no road, it's going to take much longer. It only took you about a day and a half to actually get here, but the rest of it's going to be traveling off-road and rough terrain. So I will say we will go ahead and for the expediency of this, you may all go ahead and mark off your rations for about 7 days.
Rations.
Well,
I'm gonna have to borrow rations from someone else.
Naram's gonna have to as well, because he only had 3.
Are the birds edible?
I suppose we'll have to go hunting on the way. Or
No,
scavenging,
seriously,
at
are
least.
the birds edible?
I mean, most poultry is.
Alright, fuck it, let's eat the birds.
I mean, do you have anything to shoot them down with?
Ryoka, you had a very handy dog.
Well, you mean... Yeah?
Raya could go ahead and make me a survival check.
Could I cast Mind
Bitch,
Sliver
I
on one of the
shot down
ravens?
a bird before. I can do it
Can
again.
assist with the hunting and scavenging, but just trying to
Sure.
find like.
Raya
edible
could go
things.
ahead and make that an advantage. Because you're essentially doing a duck hunt. You're going to shoot them down near them, we'll collect them.
Can I try to use Mind Sliver on the ravens?
Make an Arcana check.
That's a 22.
That's a 16.
You guys have no trouble at all getting the food. However, some of them taste weird. It seems something happened to them a bit more of on an arcane, and it just makes the meat taste weird.
Ah, shit, I shouldn't have used that on them then.
Yeah, the meat tastes of fear and sour.
Tastes like my anxiety.
Yeah.
Just like this. This tastes like as if the butcher did a bad job.
Could Rowan just like put a hand over his mouth like, shh. It's perfectly good meat. It's perfectly good meat.
Hey, I never said I'm not gonna eat it.
But after about the 3rd day, you start looking up and you start noticing the clouds above. There are no clouds in the sky, except for the ones ahead of you. As you had previously seen traveling from Clay Rose back to Port Ivy. You see the clouds above form almost a sandy beach of an outline against a lake forming in the sky. As you look at this, you see the skies above within the area of these clouds looks to be almost a cyan blue, as if pure water. And you see as it almost swirls and moves above, almost visually, like you would see a river or even some sort of a fast-moving waterfall that seems to cascade over itself. And as you start getting closer to it, just about a day from where your final appearance to where this meeting, or at least this temple, should be on the map, you stop as who would be leading this expedition?
Not Rowan.
Alright, fine, I will.
Zoram, you step forward and you feel your foot pretty much sink into water. Not swamp, water. And as it sinks in, you immediately withdraw your foot and step back. And you see the grass of the land that is all flat and rolling. You see as it all waves gently, as if it is a sea of grass. And as you step into it, you seem to have broken a piece of it. And it starts slowly, almost disintegrating itself, as if you watch the grass just disappear. As it Apologies, today's the day. Now, as it parts, you start watching as the sky above mirrors what's below. You see this soft cyan blue echoing around the waters that just seem to continue up. And you see just ahead as the grass clears complete looks to be a lone hilltop. Nothing sheer, it's soft, gentle, maybe about 10 feet above the water. You see there is a small crack and crevice that echoes along the hillside just about to the southeast of it. But you see there's about roughly a day's worth of water that you would have to get through to get to the hill.
So basically, the hill just turned into water, but it's still grass.
The grass around it turned into water. The hill is still there.
Rowan would just like look at the others like, was there something in those birds? Is this just me? Anyone else see this?
Yeah, I'm just. What kind of drugs did we consume between now and like yesterday?
Does seeing something of the magical nature, or is this a natural phenomenon?
Make me an Arcana check.
I've been making a lot of those.
Oh yeah.
Ah, yes, the grass turning into water, that is perfectly normal.
It's another 26.
As you kind of peer into the water, you're pretty much in the center of the Kamyar. You're in the most landlocked portion of it. And yet, as I pull something up for you, and to load that, and then objects, components, boards.
Oh,
You are roughly about here. Walk. You're about there. There is no water around you. To your east, you don't get water until about another month of travel, and that's off-road. To your west, about roughly about a week to get back to Port Ivy, and then you can meet the water. But here, there looks to be an ocean. As you look down, you see schools of fish swimming through. As you look further into it, you see the further down you look, the darker and darker it gets. And you can almost swear you see something moving in the darkness. Something huge. As you watch these fish swim by, you see as an octopus cascades by. Whatever this is, through your studies, the only thing you could think of that has this amount of just pureness to it would be something from the plane of water. It's as if somebody had taken the material plane and almost severed the boundaries between the plane of water and the material plane here.
Oh. Um. Hmm.
Zoram, you're pondering a lot. That's not a good sign. What's going
Pog.
on?
Well, this, either this is a really damn good illusion.
Your
Or
foot's still wet.
Yeah, like, or this is I guess, I don't know, like, this is,
On the bright side, we won't have to eat birds anymore. We can eat fish now.
Hold on, give me a moment here, and I'm going to cast Detect Magic. See if this actually is like some sort of, if there's anything magical about this place here.
As far as you are aware, this is entirely natural.
So nothing magical is
Nope.
affecting this area.
No magic fuckery going on here.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, but
Goddamn magic people doing their magic
and this
shit.
just appeared out of nowhere.
Somewhat, yeah. The grass parted as you stepped onto it.
Huh.
Ryoka seems like she has a sudden urge to swim.
Hey,
We
Ryoka,
could try and
I
take
will
a
give
boat
you
across.
5 silver if you
I
manage
don't know
to
if it's
get us
safe.
a couple fish.
What was that, Rowan?
I will give you like 5 silver if you manage to get us a couple fish.
Ryoka just has a look of bet, and she grabs her
Hold on.
returning dart.
Hold on.
No. You gotta punch the fish.
Oh!
Hold on.
Can I
a
dive
moment.
in?
Hold on a moment.
How about you chill out
As
for
you're
a
going, it's like,
second?
hold it! You watch as Ryoka dives in. And it's almost like a Tom and Jerry sketch. As Ryoka dives, her hands enter for about 5 inches, and then the rest of her body as if hitting some sort of hard surface. Whack! And Ryoka, you just find yourself laying in about 5 inches of water.
Ow!
Rowan would just like start laughing.
Narum will
But
go
it
up to
looks
Ryoka and help her
it
up
looks
because
so much deeper.
Niram, as you step up, you immediately sink, and you are pretty much up to your waist in water.
what? Wait, huh?
And your waist is now lower than Ryoka in the water.
Ryoka looks at him so confused.
Narum is just
I'm
like,
gonna look down.
wait.
I'm gonna look down again.
You look down, you see Niram's feet, you see Ryoka in the water.
Narum's gonna step
Does
back out.
Does it look like Ryoka's almost like floating in the water then?
Yes, she's floating.
Ryoka tries to swim down.
Hold on a moment.
As you try and push your hands forward, you're just hitting that hard surface.
In no mic right
what
now.
You're, what you're reaching down and touching is almost as if you're pushing onto a hardened jello.
In no mic right now. This is the entire party.
So, I think I know what is going on here.
Would you care to share with the class?
Could I surmise that this is in fact like an actual barrier between the water plane and
You
the
can
material?
surmise what you wish. Surmise what you wish. This is your character. I will say nothing of it.
Can I try something?
So
What would you like
Zorm's-
to try, Bliss?
I would like to try. Let's see if I have it. I think yes, I do. Can I try to dispel the magical effect?
that would not be a good idea. Like,
The spell has nothing to lock onto. It fizzles.
so, okay. There's 2 possibilities for this.
Mm-hmm.
The first possibility is that this is I guess almost like a rip between the material plane and the water plane.
What?
If I recall, the water plane is completely submerged by water, is it not?
But judging from how these 2 are floating, there is possibly a barrier between these areas.
Hold on,
Ryoka
for
looks
what?
at him. Well, how come he can go deeper than I can?
Yeah, how come I just immediately sunk and she didn't?
Because there is
It's very
a
comfortable, by the
barrier.
way.
Barriers are not necessarily.
Yeah. The on that note, Niram, this is very comfortable water. Like it's perfect temperature. It's not cold. It's not hot. It is perfect.
Huh.
Ryoka's gonna get an idea, and she's gonna try and like poke her barrier with her returning dart, since it's magical.
You poke it, and nothing happens, as if it's going through water.
Does it go deeper though?
No.
Shit.
You know what Volus is going to try?
Bullets, you step in and you immediately sink, and you are to your waist. Though you are shorter to Niram, so you are higher in the water.
Ryoka,
Yes.
how about you go back to land and just try walking in instead of trying to jump in?
Ryoka goes back to land. Tries
How
to
are you
walk
doing
in.
so? How are
I-
you getting to land?
Well, she's in 5 inches of water, so just like she's gonna stand up.
As you stand up, you immediately sink. Because you're
Oh,
waist deep in the water.
Okay.
And you almost lose your balance at this, because you're getting up, you put your hands down and you put your feet, and as soon as you stand up and put weight on your legs, you immediately fall through.
That's weird.
what is happening?
Wait a second, I'm gonna try something. No, I'm just like gets back to the I guess coast.
You
And,
wade through the water. It's this water is actually very thick. You're not sure why, but it's like trying to wade through like gelatin.
This
Okay.
must be an effect of the
Then
thick grass.
And then he heaves himself back on the land, back on
Okay.
the earth,
You
and tries jumping in.
Right. You whack and you land on your ass. It's
Okay. Ow. I think I
Oh.
figured something out.
Is okay, out of character. Is this like like the cornstarch water mix, where if you like punch it really hard, it becomes really hard, but if you go
Is
very
this just
slowly,
non-Newtonian water?
essentially, yeah.
Oh my god. Now I'm just
Ryoka's gonna like gently wiggle.
wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Wiggle.
You gently wiggle in the water and gently wiggle in the water.
Do I get deeper?
That's
No.
what she said. Wait, no.
Reining it back in. Currently, there is we have
Zora
Rowan, we have Niram, and we
in his
have
brain.
Ryoka currently
Yeah.
within the water, and you guys are all just standing there, kind of dumbfounded.
so apparently you're not allowed to exert too much force. Just try
Okay,
walking
so
in.
we
I
we
swear
dense,
I'm
though.
doing pile up trying to figure this
Wait.
out.
Ryoka, what if you try running across it really fast?
This gives her an idea. She tries to get out of the water.
He gets out after waiting.
Does anyone know
Ryoka's gonna
haste?
try and run
Does
across
anyone
the
know
water.
haste?
Make me a dexterity check.
Hold on. Before
Oh
she
my
runs,
God.
can I cast Dog Strider on her?
Yes.
You may.
Wait,
So I
hold on,
would like
hold on.
to-
I need to look at my
Oh my God.
I'm gonna burn a key point for Step of the Wind.
Okay.
Is Ryoka just gonna fucking run across the water, and once she's done, that's some cool monk shit.
Ryoka is gonna get out of the water, and then she is going to run
Does anyone
Alright.
know how to cast
So-
haste?
as fast as she
Ryoka-
can.
As you run across with your dexterity check,
My dexterity check is going to be a 27, and at 20 plus 7.
you guys see as Ryoka does this. As she runs across, you see as she gets she actually runs across the water for about 7 steps, and then you see as her feet immediately sink, and she falls face first and slides in the water.
If you wanted to just walk on water, you could have just said so.
No.
What?
This is not about. This is not
How?
about using. This is about just being dumb.
You gave magical water to idiots, and now we're gonna use it
Hold on,
properly.
I'm
God.
just thinking here.
Wait, Ryoka, we could
Zora's
make
gonna
money with
walk
this
over
water.
and kind of.
Great.
He's going to slowly try and.
I want to try to examine the barrier since like he's gonna hold his breath underwater and just try to make note of the barrier since he hasn't. He wants to know if it is one of these rifts, I guess. So he
Okay,
wants to like
go ahead
examine
and
it
make
thoroughly.
me an Arcana check, or make me an investigation check.
Okay. Would being proficient in Arcana deal with anything?
No,
Just gives you a higher
Okay.
number.
give you a higher number.
I have gotten a 25. Not natural, but just 25.
Whatever this is, it is some sort of barrier. This does not only just hold and retain the barriers between the material plane and the realm and the plane of water. This is still here. The barrier is still there. However, it is exceptionally weak. It's
Could
as
I?
if somebody has just come through and you know how when you take a scarf and you tear it apart, you know how there are still a few strands between?
Yeah.
That's essentially what's here. It's like there are a couple
Oh.
of strands here. It's like this barrier is exceptionally weak. Like if something happens further to destabilize it, you're looking at some sort of shift in the material plane.
All right. As you suggest
I
not
want
to
to break
stabilize
it.
it. No, as you
Guys.
suggest not to stabilize, I would like to grab 2 of my buckets and fill them with the water before trying to bring them away.
So you submerge both buckets. They're full of water.
Does he say this to the rest of the group?
I was going to till I was cut off.
Okay.
He kind of, with this knowledge, Volos actually gets out, and he looks at the other guys. Get out of this thing, otherwise, it's not gonna be good.
What do you mean?
Well, it seems it is a barrier to the material planes, but it is a very unstable barrier. So if we keep dicking around with this, we're gonna most likely drown.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ryoko,
Well,
get out of the fucking
get
water
out of the
before I
water.
drag you out.
Can we drink this water? Yeah, I
Well,
would
as
like
far
to
as
ask.
as
I would
far
like
as
to
I'm
ask that
concerned,
over to either Vals or Zornum.
I
Can we drink
don't
this?
know. It's probably the same as saying, "Can I drink seawater?"
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The
The answer is yes, but the question is, should you?
the elemental plane of water and the material planes, oceans, are pretty much the exact same thing. So
So if you fancy yourself drinking seawater from time to time, go ahead. Otherwise, just get out of the damn water before this thing breaks, because it is at a state that is exceptionally weak. But
so
this
we might
also
have
means
to.
another thing. Something came out of this, and it was the recent by the looks of these. And he kind of glances to like the bear itself. It's been very recent, maybe couple of days at best.
Well,
Otherwise,
if it's weak, then we're gonna have to have someone come back and restabilize it. Otherwise, we're gonna be looking at
yes, and I don't
some
think
serious
jumping in it
problems.
and digging about in it will help us at all. So please, for the love of whatever god you worship, get the hell out of that damn pool.
Ryoka just looks at him and just like, "You're no fun," and goes to get out of
Well,
the water.
sorry,
want
I
to
don't want to
live.
drown, unlike someone.
And I can swim.
Yeah, but for how long? Okay, I don't think you understand. When you open a rift to the elemental plane of water, that means imagine an entire world that is flooded,
And there's no land.
that is purely water, And then imagine having all of that water trying to push itself through a portal.
What if we somehow carried our ship in here and went into that plane?
Well, there's no
There's no,
surface in the
there's no
element.
air. It's just water there.
What's at the
Right.
bottom of it? Also water?
Yes.
Yes,
Think
it
of it
is
like
bottomless.
this.
Infinitely water.
Yes.
I want to go swimming.
There has to be a way to make profit out of this.
There is no
There-
profit out of it. You
there's
guys are
no
gonna get out there, out of that spot. And
How
you can
about
see
we
all
just
of
I
that.
love
move
that they're
on?
like, we must milk this.
What if
Profit.
what if we like barrier this off and then sell it as a new fishing spot?
Can you guys stop talking about gold coming out of your asses for literally 5 minutes and think with whatever brain cells that you have left?
Okay,
What are brain cells?
Here, allow me to explain. The elemental plane of water also is home of every, like, I'm pretty sure any monsters that you could encounter in the water as well. So yeah,
And those things are in the water.
Yes, and it's gonna basically eat us all up. We're going to have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and no ship to survive in. So, for the last time, get out of the damn water.
Could I like try to find some kind of flat rock and skip it over the water?
well, at
Go
least
ahead and
it's
make me an
on the
investigation
water.
check.
At least it's on the water and not on the barrier, because the water is at least a little bit.
Alright, that is an 18.
Watch as he grabs a rock and it skips across the water. It
How many
doesn't
times-
sink.
It just keeps going.
It doesn't keep going. It's just when it stops, it doesn't sink.
Ryoka, get out of the water, please. I'm asking you.
She already has.
You never
Okay.
said.
Yeah,
I
she
didn't.
said
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you say.
when you told me to get out of the water, I said that she looks at Volus like a look of "you're no fun" and gets out.
Okay, we're gonna have to find another way around this place because this is not something we want to be messing.
This is something outside of our capabilities.
Can't we just, follow the shore?
That's what I mean. It's like we have to go around it. We can't go in it.
I mean, we can go in it. It just wouldn't end well.
Well, it's more like it would hinder our movement. It'd be longer to go through it than to go around it, as well as
Then let's just go around it.
yeah,
Alright.
and also just going through it is more dangerous because we don't know if there's a hole in this thing.
Didn't you just say it was infinite, so it is technically a hole?
No, I'm talking about the barrier because there's water on this side of the barrier.
If there's water on this side of the barrier, what happened to the land that was here before? Is it now in the water plane?
To put it in your perspective, think of a material plane, the water one, is slowly coming to our world. This is something we cannot deal with, at least
Yes.
for right now.
What I'm asking is the rest of our realm in that water plane?
Okay, so what you're asking is the place that was originally here in the water plane?
Yes.
I have no idea. I have no answer for that question because rifts like this can be very hard to deal with and can be very confusing. But honestly, it's best if we leave
Indeed.
and inform whatever lord we can about this, because this is a world threat if this breaks open.
Yes, and by the looks of it, it could break with, say, a few good spells, maybe? Like, takes a side glance to it. So this is something we should probably inform someone quick.
Say, Volus and Zorn, make me an intelligence check.
Okay.
It's breaking as we speak.
Oh wait, intelligence check. I rolled straight intelligence. 21.
Lost my die. 24.
As both of you would kind of understand, there is a very strong binding between the planes and the barriers between them. Even though this might be weak, it would take magic beyond even your strongest capabilities to break it. Even if it is weakened. Whatever did this was either very powerful or very determined.
So there's that at least. So we can probably leave this for now. We're not in desperate need to inform someone, but we should definitely inform someone about this. It's not a dire circumstance that's in, but still isn't a poor circumstance.
As you guys have been standing here for roughly about an hour, you actually see something come out of the hill. Looks to be a woman, human. Long black hair, very hawk-like features, and she's wearing what looks to be very fine purplish and black regalia. And as she steps out, you see something follows behind her. It looks to be a huge metallic thing. And it just kind of scrapes through the entrance in this crevice of this hill. They don't even seem to notice you, but you watch as the woman puts her hand on the metal thing and they both disappear.
Alright, let's get the fuck out of here. I've seen enough.
Hey, question. Is it the same woman that Wells encountered back in Metal Giant back in Port Ivy when it was raided?
Make me a wisdom check.
Okay. Wisdom. 17.
All right. Didn't look like her. Didn't feel like her. But you did get some bad juju. Just a bad feeling in general.
Yeah, I agree. We should probably leave. That's not the woman I encountered back in Port Ivy, but that woman screams dark and screams bad intentions, to say
You're
for the
telling
lack of a better term.
You're telling me this a woman appeared out of nowhere next to some water that you say could destroy the world and that we shouldn't get in, and you think that's bad. I thank you for telling me.
Well, she
I
just
would have never
disappeared.
guessed.
Didn't appear out of nowhere. She came out of the hill, out of the crevice.
Oh, I know, but I said she disappeared because you said that she placed her hand on the metal thing
Mhm.
and they both vanished. That's what I was indicating. You think that this has any relation to that weird crow that was apparently stalking us earlier?
I don't know, but I don't really want to find out anymore. That thing was
Right.
big.
As this conversation continues along the side of this large rift between planes, we'll go ahead and end it there, as our 2 hours and then some has finally come due.
Oh man.
Oh, jeez.
Never have I thought I'd encounter a rift in the plains.
And
Fun.
then 2 idiots want to break it open and create profit.
2 idiots want to break it open and destroy the world.
But hey, at
I
least we
will
get
say-
5
I
gold
will-
out of it.
I will say this as an out-of-character DM. You guys are the first ones of all of my parties to play on this map to not go into the temple. But you know what? It's okay.
I really do love the fact that we're just the absolute chaos crew. Whatever expectations you have for us, we just
let's go
negate.
to the temple, and you guys like, no, let's go to the village. And when we get to the village, it's fucking cannibals. I'm sorry.
Danny bro.
What
I'm
else
sorry.
would it
This
be?
party is just very derailing.
Anyway,
My
I will go ahead and say this so we can get our usual associates out of the way. Those of you who are on Twitch and helping us along the way, even though we have not heard or seen you, know we love you. Thank you for stopping by. If you enjoyed having your time spent here with us and our beautiful antics of idiocy and degeneracy, feel free to stop by again. We do this every Saturday from about 2 o'clock East until about 4 to 4:30. That would be about 8 o'clock German Central Time or German Standard Time, and roughly about 12 o'clock West Coast. For those of you in the fake time zones of the middle part of the United States, whatever time that is for you, come on by. We'd love to have you.
Wow, okay.
Damn,
It's a
call out
fake
like
time
that.
zone. But nonetheless.
Isn't there like a joke that Wyoming doesn't exist?
What?
But
Wait, what's Australia again? Kidding.
nonetheless, we hope you guys enjoyed joining us for today's session. If you want, I believe that Behemoth can send you a link to the playlist on either YouTube or even his own Twitch, so that you might see where we last left off with the rest of our adventures.
Yeah, in case you
leading
want to
up to this
catch up, like, here's this handy dandy YouTube playlist where most sessions are cataloged. I'm gonna do my best to upload and add this to the playlist as soon as possible. Forgive me if I forget it. I am not the smartest person and don't always remember to do stuff, but at the latest next Saturday, it's gonna be up.
I'm gonna say
And-
this real quick. I'm surprised you haven't pulled out a funny moments of of being in Grape's game,
Be it a
like
group
funny
of
moment
idiots.
compilation.
At this point, yeah, I
D&D.
should probably just make a highlight compilation.
Being in
But-
a group of people who sniff glue.
Nonetheless,
Oh my god!
nonetheless, just so we don't get
I-
Twitch banned, we do not recommend doing that. But
Dang it,
for
man.
those of you who are around with us, we hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask Behemoth or even myself. He can lead you to the correct ways, either via his Discord if you wish to join that, But nonetheless, thank you for coming out. We enjoyed having you, and we hope you enjoyed coming along with us for our little adventure. And we look forward to seeing the next one. Behemoth, I'll hand it off to you.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, that certainly is a clusterfuck. Holy shit. In a group where everyone sniffs glue. Okay, sure, I guess. But yeah, I'm still amazed that this happened. That we're at 24 sessions now. I'm very sorry that the first couple are not there. I might make a summary video at some point before I completely forget everything. But oh geez. Well, thank you for sticking around. And I do genuinely hope that you have a nice day, evening, night, whatever it is at your place. And yeah, well, not much more to say than like keep an eye out for eventually more shenanigans, and also probably more Monster Hunter stories, and maybe Final Fantasy VII if I ever get around to modding it. Because I want to do a new threat playthrough, because that sounds fun. Well, that's that. Cheers. See ya.